Hey guys, Dustin here. Welcome to another episode of Horroritis. Today we're talking about the new Gwar album, The Blood of Gods. So this is the first Gwar album without Dave Brockie fronting the band, and for those of you who don't know what Gwar is, actually if you don't know what Gwar is, I'm not exactly sure why you're watching this video, but here's a little quick backstory. The lore on Gwar is that they're a bunch of space aliens and they were banished to Earth and they were frozen in Antarctica for thousands of years, and then they thawed out and killed the dinosaurs and raped a bunch of apes, which spawned humans, and now they're bent on conquering and destroying the human race. That's it in a nutshell. So this album, like I said before, this is the first album since Dave Brockie, who was the original frontman, played the part of Odoris Urungus, since he died back in 2014. I know a lot of people were skeptical about the direction that the band was going to take, or potentially could take after Brockie died. I know I, for one, was skeptical when I found out that they were going to continue on, because you can't replace Odoris, basically. I mean, nobody else could wear that costume. Nobody else could play that character. That was Dave Brockie. And when I found out that they were, they weren't just replacing the person inside, they were actually replacing the entire character with a character called Blothar. Of course, I was skeptical the whole way through, but I found out that Blothar was actually being played by Michael Bishop, who was the original bass player and wore the original Beefcake the Mighty costume. So he at least knew what was going on. He had experience with the band. He was, around in the beginning. The first time I had actually heard Blothar with the band, it was on the AV Club, and they did a Pet Shop Boys cover, and they came back again and they did a Cyndi Lauper cover, I think. And at the time, I didn't think that Blothar's voice was good enough to front the band. It didn't feel like Gwar. It felt like Gwar playing instruments and then some other guy just kind of coming in and yelling into the microphone. And it didn't feel right. It felt odd. Maybe it could have been the songs they were covering, but I'm not sure what it was about it that I didn't like. Also, there was a girl there. What was her name? Volvatron or something like that. She's not around anymore. I guess she lasted maybe a year or so, did some live shows, and then just kind of like disappeared. But like I said, I was skeptical going in. I didn't know if I was going to like this. The stuff I had seen on AV Club, I wasn't really excited about. But then, year or two goes by, and I see some clips from the Warped Tour where they did a cover of AC/DC's "You Want Blood," and Michael Bishop actually has a really good AC/DC cover voice. His voice works well for that song. So, I saw that and I was like, okay, well, that works. But, I'd also seen some earlier clips where he was doing songs that Odoris had sang, and it didn't feel right. I didn't like that. It felt like somebody trying to copy Odoris and not really getting there, But then they went after the AC/DC cover, they went into a song off the new album called "Fuck This Place," and that song actually that felt like a Gwar song. You could tell that Blothar's voice went from cover song mode to Gwar mode, and it felt right. Everything just kind of came together, and it felt like a Gwar song. So I was a little less skeptical after that. I felt good about what could be the future of Gwar. So then I found out Metal Blade released the new album, The Blood of Gods, on YouTube for free. You can go to the Metal Blade channel right now and check out the entire album. And honestly, it's pretty good. Like I said, going in, I was skeptical. But, at the same time, having Michael Bishop there, he was, in it from the beginning. He knows the inner workings of Gwar. He kind of has, some kind of insight on what's supposed to be happening. So the album in itself is actually, it's a Gwar album. It feels like a Gwar album from beginning to end. The only real difference that you will notice is that Dave Brockie's voice is not on it. The album opens up with a song called War on Gwar, which, is kind of from the perspective of, somebody who wants to, destroy Gwar, which, throughout their whole story, somebody always wants to destroy Gwar. They're always fighting against somebody while they're fighting the human race. It's a very heavy song. It's a really good opener. It starts out kind of slow and then just jumps right in, and it's really good opener. And then from there you go into Viking Death Machine, also very good, heavy, fast song. After that, it goes into a song called El Presidente, which of course is about killing the president. But Gwar wants to kill everybody: presidents, popes, any public figure. So every album's got something on it. Then it goes into a song called I'll Be Your Monster, and this one is like the first real Michael Bishop song. You can feel that Blothar had a hand in this one. That this was kind of it was it had Michael Bishop's personal touch, and it's fast. It's not as heavy, but it's fast and it's in your face, and it's actually really good. And it's where we really get a scope of what Blothar's voice can do. And it's very reminiscent of like when you heard his voice back on Cool Place to Park and The Road Behind, from like back in 88 and 92, I want to say. And it fits really well. It's a great place to move into from the opening songs. So after that, it moves into a song called Arak, and that's a little heavier. It's kind of more punky though, kind of like the fast-paced punk stuff that Gwar used to do years ago, and it's actually pretty good. And then right after that is a song called Swarm, which is basically about again destroying the human race and how the human race is overpopulating Earth, and it's human swarming. And I mean, neither one of these two songs are the songs you're gonna buy the album for, but they are still fairly solid songs. They're really good songs. I mean, I can't say that there's really a bad song on the album, but there are a couple songs that they're not the songs you're gonna buy the album for. They're just there. They're not bad. They're still really good to listen to, but they're not the important songs, I guess I would say. So after that is the Sordid Soliloquy of Sawdog Destructo. Now, if you're familiar with Gwar albums, you'll know that sometimes they'll have a song that's sung by somebody who's not technically in the band, another outside character like Skullheadface or Bone Snapper. And on this album, they have Sawdog Destructo. This song kind of has its own feel to it. This actually feels more like an old Megadeth song to me. I mean, it's heavy like Gwar, but there's like the chorus. It almost feels like you expect to see Dave Mustaine over in the corner, just kind of lending some backup or something. Still a good song, but it doesn't feel like some of the other character songs that we know. The next one up is Death to Dickie Duncan, and this one actually kind of feels like it should have been the character song. And it's really about fattening up people and, just being unhealthy and dying. I'm not really sure if there's supposed to be a message in there for real, or if it's just, kind of one of the neat stories that they concoct around their songs. But either way, song is catchy as hell, and I really like it. It's easily, one of my favorite songs off of the album. So the next one is Crushed by the Cross, and if I had to pick one off of the entire album that would be the weak song, it would be this one. Now, of course, there's nothing actually wrong with it. It's just I couldn't get into this song like I could get into the other ones. It's still pretty good, though. It's got a really, a rich bass line like, you get from a lot of the songs off of Violence Has Arrived and War Party. There's some really nice bass work, and you can see that's brought to this song as well. The one after that, definitely by far my favorite song on the entire album, is called Fuck This Place. And honestly, if I had to pick a song off of this album that was going to be like the anthem of the album, the song that this album would be known for, it would be Fuck This Place. So this one actually goes back into some of the old lore and mentions Odorous a couple times, and really it's just about how the band hates the planet Earth and they have to be here, and basically just a huge middle finger to to the Earth. And it's a really good song. It's like I said, it's my favorite off the entire album, and it's the one I sing the most at work. After that, though, the next song is called Phantom Limb, and this is basically, it's kind of almost a love song to the memory of Dave Brockie. Um, it's actually really good. It starts off, I'm not gonna say slow, but slow enough for Gwar, and it's actually you can tell it's very heartfelt. They really took their time and put some work into it, especially with the lyrics. And it's actually a really decent closer. Except it's not the closer, because the closer on this album is actually the AC/DC cover, You Want Blood. And like I said, Michael Bishop, he's got the voice to do an AC/DC cover, and it's actually a really good AC/DC cover. I like it probably better than I like the original, but then again, I'm not like a super huge AC/DC fan. If it comes to AC/DC or Gwar, I'm going to pick Gwar every time. All in all, I mean, the album in total, it's a fantastic album. I was pleasantly surprised. Like I said, I was skeptical going in. I didn't know where they were going to go with this. And I was just really surprised. And I'm glad that it turned out as well as it did. And, the fact that Gwar has spanned, so many different genres. They've been punk, they've been thrash, they've been heavy. It's just they can do pretty much anything and it still feel like a Gwar album, which definitely helps. And even with even though you can tell in some spots that this is it's got a new person at the helm, it still always from beginning to end feels like a Gwar album, even when you can pick out something new that you didn't expect or doesn't feel like it would normally be there. It's not bad at all, and it can be refreshing. So yeah, definitely this album is really, really good, and I was super surprised. And if you want to hear it, you can head over to the Metal Blade YouTube channel, where you can listen to the whole thing all the way through for free. And there's also a link there to buy it, which I would encourage you to do, because we need more Gwar albums, and if they're going to keep being like this, then I'm on board 100%. So that's my review for The Blood of Gods. If you like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell icon so that you can be notified when I upload a new video. All my social media links are in the description. Leave comments below. What did you think about the album? What do you think about Blothar? And whatever happened to Volvatron? So that's it, and until next time, I'm Dustin, this was Horroritis, and as always, keep it creepy.